Standard 5.1 is all about increasing capacity to understand assessment. Here, the goal is to increase the capacity of colleagues to identify and use multiple assessment tools aligned to state and local standards. The example we look at here Standard 5.1 is all about increasing capacity to understand assessment. The goal is to increase the capacity of colleagues to identify and use multiple assessment tools aligned to state and local standards. The article that we look at talks about understanding assessments. This article is from Edutopia, and the highlights focus on an importance of understanding various kinds of assessments and the purposes they serve in the classroom. The first example that they use is from a New York City school, in which they use performance-based assessments throughout the entire year, which culminate blah 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 blah. Standard 5.1 looks at increasing the capacity to understand assessment. Here, the focus is to increase the capacity of colleagues to identify and use multiple assessment tools aligned to state and local standards. The article is all about understanding assessment. It's from Edutopia, and it highlights the importance of understanding various kinds of assessments and the purposes they serve in the classroom. They look at traditional assessment methods versus performance assessment models. And the first example they look at is a New York City Urban Academy. Students demonstrate what they learn through a year-long process of assessment that culminates in a performance assessment or project. They also look at a geometry teacher in Washington who uses applied learning with her students. Mini projects link units up, helping them to carry their knowledge forward. And at the end of the year, they have a cumulative project that pulls all of the proficiencies together that they have learned so they can demonstrate the breadth of their knowledge. They also look at digital portfolios and how they can create a cumulative record of a student's work so that you can show growth throughout their entire learning. The final point they make in this article looks at the difference between assessment and accountability. They urge that the focus be on assessment of students and using assessment to help students to learn more and to give feedback. The challenge, they say, is that teachers may become too focused on the assessment and begin teaching to the test more than they use the assessment as a valuable tool for helping students to grow. Standard 5.2 looks at increasing the capacity to use assessments. Here, you're increasing the capacity of colleagues to design, implement, score, and interpret student data to improve educational practice and student learning. The example here is a data-driven district. This is a video that shows a school district's plan for interpreting student data to improve their educational practice. Students give the teacher feedback on the lessons, looking at the engagement, rating how much they learned, whether they learned a little or a lot, giving the teacher feedback in terms of what strategies worked, what strategies they could use more of, and what strategies did not work. The teacher reviews the students' feedback and then meets back with them, summarizing the information that they gave her and highlighting the areas that she will continue to work on to meet the needs that they have expressed. The students feel heard, and the teacher gets valuable feedback from students about what strategies are very effective and what strategies maybe need to be worked on or might need alternative strategies instead.